Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing this August the 30th, 2025. Early afternoon altcoin update here in the great state of Michigan, right? And as you do know, I believe, as our track shows, 2026, 2027 is going to be the year of the AMP. And I think DGB will be there with it, as I believe by the end of 2027 through 2026 and 2027, the best performing crypto assets will be AMP and DGB. As you do know, I think we're in this multi-year pattern here, consolidation, where we had the prototypical 99% dump from when the coin came out. Then we had it come back to life last spring in 2024, followed by a long consolidation now for almost 2 years with one pump, two pumps, slightly descending overhead resistance, slightly uptrending underneath support. And you can see where this underneath support that we've hit, we bounced off it once in 24 and August of 24, in May of 25, in July and June and August of 25. And I think our next pump will bring us up here to right at upper resistance at 0.0104. And then as our track shows into 2026, going through the year into 2027, we skyrocket up between the 2 and 5 cents. And I do believe that's actually going to happen. I have, for transparency, I'm not a financial advisor, just over 1 million coins of AMP, because I do believe this capital appreciation will take place. And I've been buying all through this bottom right here. I'm slightly down about 8 or 9% on the position, depending on the current day and the current price, right? And I'm going to hold this until we reach 2 to 5 cents, and I will walk away with my fucking money very happy. And I'm not a financial advisor. You can help support the channel with this truth, trust, education, and information. But I just believe these are the two coins that will give you the best rewards next year, as well as the DGB, as it had also its prototypical 99% fall to the downside from the 18 cents all the way down 97.44%, followed by its extended rounding bottom with a long consolidation between the 0.00552 and the 0.00858, with a couple of fake outs to the top side and a lot of support underneath. And I believe when this accumulated potential breakout energy happens next year, if I put our track on here, they also would follow the AMP the next year and a half to 2 years through 2026 into 2027. I think we're going to come between the 2 to 3 cent right here, the 4 cent and the 9 cent. And that from the current price is, and I only have about 165,000 of these, but from the current price, we're talking about a 3 to 10x move, I believe will happen with the with the DGB and the AMP. I am very confident that that's what's going to happen with these two coins. I am very bullish next year and the year after as an alt season happens. And not all altcoins, and this is a PSA, not all altcoins or all cryptos during bull markets have to go back to new highs or have to go up at all. They can continue to go down because some coins, just like the stock market, go out of business and then you never hear from them again, even though as the overall market continues to soar. And I feel that's very important that you guys understand that. If we look at the ALGO, is the same thing. We're at a critical support level at the bottom part of this red trading zone. If we go into the daily time frame, you can see the 50-day is trending down. The 100-day is starting to trend down. The 200-day is running parallel, and we're below all three moving averages, and we're below this critical 23 cents, the bottom part of this red trading zone. And we do know in AMP, if we break below this, just like a rock, like it thumps down, like an old Acme rock, you're going to come down to this critical pattern support at 19 cents. And if you break that 19 cents, you would slip and come all the way down to 10 cents very fast. Something that we came down to back here in November of last year before the run. And that's something I'm very concerned about. But this 19 cent level, or probably about a 15% fall from where we're at now, a 16.50% fall, you would come straight down to the 19 cents if you can't get some kind of short-term support and get back over top of this 23 cent critical major overhead resistance and pattern resistance in this red trading box, right? And that's in the short term what's going on there. And ALGO, XCN's the same thing. We do know where we're headed in XCN, unfortunately. And this call has been going on ever since we were struggling back here on the top part of this purple trading zone. And you can see the short-term moving average is below now. The 50 is knifing below the 200, which is very bearish, golden bearish cross. The 50 is just on top of the 200, which is going to cross below that. We're below this critical 0.015, 1.5 cents below that blue purple trading zone. And we told you as long as you were below that, your next major move was going to be to the downside. And to the downside was to the bottom part of this green or purple trading zone, which is all the way down here at 0.00830. And from the move, that was a big move down from the top to the bottom. That's a 46% move to the downside, and we're 50% of the way there. If you want to try to get some reversal, you have to do it now. If not, you're going to come down there, and that is right now currently our current call. The same thing for XDC in the short term. We're starting to turn extremely bearish. The 50-day is turning down. The 100-day is running parallel, but slightly running down now. The 200-day is running parallel. We bounced off the 200-day, but if you breach this 200-day, you're going to quickly, at first, come down there to your pattern swing up, 0.05522, and eventually you would end up all the way down here at the major underneath pattern targeted move of 0.41900. And you say, what is that from? That is from that head and shoulders topping out reversal pattern right there that you almost came down and touched. You wicked down to it back there in February, but you might actually come down and touch this if you breach this 200-day. You have to hold this 200-day in order to prevent a major collapse in the price of this coin. And Ohio State is really just going to try to run 3 straight plays up the middle from the 2-yard line. That's never going to work. You are not a power run team. You have never been a power run team. You will never be a power run team. You must utilize play action or quarterback rollout to do this. And now they'll go for it on 4th down. And if they do use that play call, they will more than likely get a touchdown. And we will see if I'm right here during this video. H-bar, the same thing. You got that double top rejection just below the 34 cents, which I believe was pretty close to an all-time high. Your 50-day is now trending down. They're in the goal line formation under the shotgun Sullivan, the redshirt freshman, and he's going to take the handoff and he's going to run it right up the middle. And these idiots at Texas are going to allow that to score a touchdown. Unbelievable. The University of Michigan never would have allowed that on 4 straight plays. You can see here the 50-day moving average is trending down. You're sitting just above the 100-day moving average. And if you slip this 100-day moving average, you're going to come to the 200-day, and that's your critical support. If you blow up this 200-day moving average, you're going to come all the way down to the 15-cent level, and that's a critical thing that I'm watching and we're paying attention to. We're paying attention to here in the short term with H-bar. If you're trying to get to the 34 cents, you have to hold the 200-day moving average. LCX is the same thing. You're having more success than XCN. As this, you've just had a bullish cross where the 50 got over the 100. And the 200-day is starting to actually uptrend too, and it's sitting right on this critical 14 cents where you've been holding as critical support for the last month, right? And now you've actually pumped up but got quickly rejected. And that's your critical area. Can you hold the 200-day and this 14 cents? If you can continue bullish and try to work your way up to 22 cents. If not, and you slip that, you're going to come down to the 50-day and the 100-day major support below that, and that's your critical area. If you break that, you come all the way down to the point. Let's get rid of that. You would come all the way down to the yellow trading box down there at 0.900 and change in the short term, and that's what we're looking at in LCX. It's been one of the ones that have been holding off much better. You can see QUANT, since we looked at it last, came all the way up to the top part of this red trading zone, but again shows the power of these trading boxes. It got chopped down over a few month period from May all the way through looks like the end of July and early August, and now it is trending down. And now your next major move in QUANT is going to come back down to the $89. And then if you break the $89, then you'd be looking at a $68 major underneath support. But we're bearish in quant right now. XRP Healthcare, we're extremely bearish, and you're at a critical area if you don't hold this. XRP Healthcare, you can see our pattern that we've been on. Buy support in the channel, sell resistance if you're trading it. If you were accumulating it, you buy support along the 0.0199, the 0.04911 where you're at now. But unfortunately, if you break this in XRP Healthcare with a very dying volume, you would come all the way down here, and that's a 50% move to the downside. And that would come back to and giving away 100% of that move that it made back in November, December, and January. So we're at a critical stage in XRP Healthcare. Now, if it holds this and bounces again, you could run all the way back up like that to the 21-cent level, right? So that's something that we're looking at, because that would be a phenomenal move from the 4 cents to the 20 cents. That would be a 200% move, but there's also a 50% move to the downside. And as we end out with IOTA, it's sitting there just below major resistance at the 0.20 at the 21 cent level. It's sitting just below all the major moving averages, where you can see the 50 days there, the 100 days at the bottom, and the 200 days at the top. If you continue to trend down in IOTA, you're going to come down to the 16 cent level. Like the channel, subscribe. Peace and love. The Rock's Eyebrow, Jay.